What do you say, everybody? So today we're going to show you how to get the seaplane. The seaplane is at the naval base, which is where we are at right now. So in this place, there are several mechs that you could potentially have to deal with, but I'm going to show you the quickest and easiest way to get to this beauty right here. So just surrounding this seaplane, you have three mechs to think about. You have this one that's coming down the path here. You have this one that's coming down the path here. And then across from the seaplane, you have this one. So there's three mechs that surround this seaplane. And then there's several others throughout the place. But I'm going to show you how to come in and not worry about them. And just to check and see if the seaplane's even here without even having to be bothered with the mechs. So here we go. So before we go steal the plane, one tip I want to give you before we go in there is if you've never flown a plane before, go into sandbox mode, open your chat, type in pound or hashtag, however you want to call it, spawn, and then you can actually use the arrow key to go down to vehicle, push spacebar, go down to the Kinglet Mariner, and then push enter. That's going to spawn in a plane. Now, if you go into sandbox with a character you really don't care about, you can learn how to fly a plane before you go do all this. But the next thing you would want to do is go into options, control, go to vehicles, scroll down till you see pitch up, pitch down, roll left, roll right, yaw left, yaw right, airplane brake, airplane fire. That's when you mount machine guns to it. Reverse, and then set gear high and low. Those are the options that you're going to want to learn how to fly a plane. And it's going to be a very, you need to get the feel of it beforehand kind of thing. One tip I will give you in the seaplane is that there is no reverse, which is typically C. So you can't reverse this thing at all. So once it's parked, it's parked. If you do have to back up, you're going to have to go and push the plane or nudge the plane like you would do any other vehicle. So backwards like that. And that's how you back up. So if you park it somewhere, make sure you can go forward, because there is no reverse in the seaplane. And then one of the other tips I'll give you is learning the gearing and how fast to come in for landings. So gears, just roll the mouse wheel forward as far as you can, and then push S to pull up. And as soon as you gain enough speed, which usually takes a while on this thing, you'll pull up in the air. But to land, you want to be in as low gear as possible and slow as possible, because if you try to land fast, you're gonna basically run out of room really quickly. So what I like to do is gear this thing all the way down, and you have a bunch of different gearing. So like right now we're full. If we back her off, there's one gear down, there's another gear down, and we have third gear down. So now we're just basically cruising, and you can see we're slowly dropping speed. But as we angle down towards the water, we're going to pick up speed. So what I like to do is pull up when we get close to the water before we touch it, and slow down even more, and then you could pretty much land almost any point you want to. And then hold your handbrake. It doesn't really help too much in the water, but for the other plane it does. So that's one tip I want to give you before we go steal the plane, is to learn how to fly the plane before going into and steal the plane, because you can turn into a real nightmare real quick if you don't even know how to get the plane out of there. So learn how to fly the plane before you try to steal it, because it can cause you problems. Okay, so I'm going to show you two ways to come into this place. The first one is going to be on the northern side of the naval base. So we're in A4, here's the naval base, we're on the northern side. this path and the other path that I'm going to show you should be pretty much uncontested by mechs. If you're unlucky, you'll have to deal with maybe an NPC, but for the most part, you'll probably just run into a couple puppets. So starting at the northern side of the naval base, which you can see there's some docks, there's the gas station there. You're going to come up to the fence on the exterior of the naval base. We're just going to go in right here, close to these rocks, close to the end of the fence. Now, I'm pretty geared up for what I'm doing here. I really don't need all this. I mean, realistically, if you're playing on PvP server, you do, but for the most part, a bow, a pistol, just something enough to deal with puppets and NPCs, and that'll be good enough. And you'll obviously need fuel for the plane. The planes do not spawn with fuel anymore. So we're going to run in here. We're going to kind of stay close to the water. And we're just going to kind of stay in between the docks and this other fence to our left here. Now, once you get up here, I like to stay above the road because it's further away from the mechs that can see us. But as you can see right there, you can run in here and check and see if the seaplane is here. That is the only spawn location for the seaplane itself. So you have that option right there. What I'm going to do is, that was the first way to get in to basically this point, and I'm going to place a fireplace right here to show you that we're just going to come right back to this place again. So I'm going to go to the second entrance and we'll show you how to get to the spot one more time. So now we're on the second entrance. We are on the east side of the naval base now, right on the coast as well. We're just going to follow these rocks in. Just stay along the coast. And then, like I said, for the most part, the only thing that might contest you in here will be puppets and NPCs. NPCs if you're unlucky, but puppets here and there. But just stay along these rocks. There's a puppet there. No big deal. Just staying along these rocks. And drop down. Now we're going to catch our breath here. So on this side, you have the chance of, there's a mech right here along walking these buildings. You do have a chance of him seeing you, but it's pretty rare if you stay out of his distance. So like I said in the last video, it's about 75 meters so when he'll see you. So this is well without of his range. So we'll just keep coming this way. I like to cross the road here and get up on the rocks. And then you're going to just stay below the fence line here so the mech don't see you, because there's two of them up here that could see you. And there's one of the mechs spawning in down there. And we made it back to our fireplace. Same spot. So obviously, if you're in a PvP server, you would be more cautious about players. But I'm going to get my stamina real quick, and then we're going to go down and get the plane. Now, like I said, we do have two mechs to worry about. We have this one that's walking away there. And then the other one should be to our right here somewhere. He may not be registered as spawned in yet. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, so he's not even registered as spawned in yet. He's just sitting still. So, but since the other one's walking that way, we're gonna walk down here real quick to this building, right outside of right behind the seaplane. There, now he spawned in, so he's out moving around now. So basically, we have to worry about 2 mechs. We have that one, he's walking towards us, and this one's walking towards us as well. So this is going to be perfect, because both of them are walking towards us at the same time, which means both of them will leave at the same time. And we have our fuel canister with fuel in it, and this should be pretty easy. I'm just going to stay by the fence, stay behind this guard shack, and wait for him to turn around and go the other way. Alright, he's leaving. And he's leaving. So like I said in the last video, we can, now that they're not facing us, we're outside of their 180-degree field of view. We can just jog up to this place. The only mech we got to worry about now is the one that's over there. Now, with this seaplane, when you make this jump, you're going to want to do a couple things here. First off, jump for the wing, so you have a lot of different area to land on. But as soon as you're done, drop down to this spot right here, because if you try to get into this plane from any other spot, you're going to run into issues trying to get into the plane and falling into the water. And if you have a bunch of gear like I do right now, you have to drop a bunch of gear in order to get into the plane after that. So we filled up the plane. There's the other mech. He's walking away. He's walking the opposite way now. So as soon as he starts walking out towards the water, we're going to go ahead and go. That's going to give us the best chance of getting out of here without him seeing us. And then there we go.
Stop right there.
And he saw us. But it doesn't matter anymore. We're going. So that's the quickest and easiest way to get the plane. Obviously, there are a bunch of different ways you can go in and do it. You could loot the place before even taking the plane and leaving. But one thing I do want to say is once you get the plane loaded up with gear, it does have a hard time taking off if you're overloaded in the plane. So you want to be careful with that. But that's how you take it. That's how you go in and get the plane. I'm super grateful for everybody who's been watching these videos and leaving comments and liking and subscribing. There's been a lot of subscribers the last couple days, and I'm very grateful for that. You guys are awesome. It's always a pleasure to have everybody in. I can't wait to start streaming again. I really miss hanging out with everybody, and hopefully we'll get back to that soon as the internet gets sorted out. But super grateful for everybody watching the videos. I hope they're helping you. And if you like always, if you got any questions, leave them in the comments. If I'm missing something or you can think of something better, let me know. But other than that, guys, I'm super grateful you guys are watching these videos. I appreciate everything. Hope you guys have a great rest of the week. I'm out, guys. Be safe.